I'm supposed to say a few things here to you, class of 57. It's a real pleasure to talk to you. We've been visiting and talking here a little bit for the last half an hour. I'm supposed to, or it's suggested that I say something really interesting. I'm going to talk about the basketball championship in 1956. Now that's the year before you graduated. Mark Clark was playing, and one of the most famous stories that ever came out of Provo High, after the game was finished and had been won in the last 3 or 4 seconds, Mark went up to Coach Condy and said, "Coach, do you think I shot too soon?" And that was really funny because it was the basket that Mark had put up there with just seconds to go that had won the game. And we've talked about that and laughed about that lots of times. Those were great days. Provo High. We were in the new building. We were enjoying the comforts and joy, so to speak, of the new building in comparison to the older building down on Center Street and 3rd West. Been my pleasure to be associated with Provo High most of my life. I love it. I love the various classes. My dad was a teacher at Provo High when I was just a little boy. He used to take me down to his science lab in the science building, and I'd watch a tropical fish. One of those fish with a long tail. I can't remember the name of those. Watch it and watch it and watch it. And later on, I'd go down to the ball games as I was in grade school and in junior high, and enjoyed them completely. I had an opportunity to teach at Provo High for a year, and then the next 2 or 3 years, I was an assistant principal and teacher combination. And my latter years at Provo High, of the 13 that I spent there, I was a full-time administrator. I congratulate your class on having the reunion, enjoying one another. Stay close. Remember the good things of good old Provo High, and we'll rise and fight. No, that's the Cougar song, isn't it? We've got one. Our song is something along that. I've forgotten them a little bit. But enjoy each other's company. And remember your memories with Provo High with great, good remembrance and good feeling.
Class of 1957. 50th anniversary. That's hard to believe. At my age, all you have is memories. Of course, one of the most choice for me at the time, because I was basketball coach, is to win the state championship in 1956. However, we would have never won the state championship without the class of 1957. Mark Clark hitting the last basket and beating Jordan by 1. Lonnie Gleaves, Lewis, Joe Beecroft, and probably the most important one is the manager, Bob Dyer. So those were good times as far as basketball is concerned. Ray Jones took a group of students to Europe every year with Brent Chambers. Some of you maybe went with Ray Jones and Brent Chambers. We went one year, Shirley and I, to evaluate the program. That's when I became assistant principal, determine whether we should continue with the program, and of course we wanted to do so. And we had a great time with Ray and with Brent. We had teachers and we had faculty and we had students, but that became a very appealing situation for Shirley and I. Since then, we really enjoy traveling. We've been to Europe numerous times. And so those are the things which go back to Provo High School. Great institution. I had a little difficult because later I was transferred to Timpview High School and later became principal of that. But my greatest memories still go back to Provo High School. And good luck with your reunion, the class of 1957. It was a great class. Thank you.
Okay, class of 57. My gosh, go back a long ways. Brand new high school, exciting. A lot of memories for me, but most of all, I cherish the thoughts that I was able to spend as many years at Provo High School as I did. I started in 1954, and I retired in '87, and until this day, I have people come. As a matter of fact, we just went on a 10-day cruise to Canada, and a lady that was on our tour, and I don't remember the year she graduated from Provo High, but she came up to me and threw her arms around me and says, "Coach Hill, I'm so glad to see you. I was at Provo High in such and such a year." And that's the case with so many people. I still play golf with a lot of the guys that are now retired and enjoying life as am I. My wife and I spend about 7 months of the year in St. George, and we love it very much. But we're always interested in picking up the paper and seeing how Provo High is doing. But those days were the days that bring back the memories. We had a close-knit group of people at Provo High School, both the faculty and the students. We always remember the noon hours. Murray Johnson, I think, graduated a year before your class, but we always look forward to Murray Johnson and having some kind of a battle out on the playgrounds. My job at Provo High School was coaching football, teaching PE, and we never won any state championships, but I was always happy to see how you people turned out in life. A lot of you have made great strides and have done well for yourself. In fact, I would think that all of you have, and hope that you have a good reunion. It's been interesting and exciting and enjoyable to visit with Dave Thane here in my home, and I look forward to seeing as many of you as I can, and if you see me roaming around anywhere, please come up and say hello. Good luck to you, have a good reunion, and we may see you at the reunion. Goodbye.
Laura Mickelson, and I taught 22 years at Provo High. And I remember I came the first year of the new Provo High School, and had absolutely no equipment whatsoever in my clothing lab up there. And we had to get down on the floor with our patterns and our material to cut them out. We didn't have any tables. We had 2 machines for 24 girls. So it was kind of a nightmare that first year, trying to get the equipment and get stuff to work with and get started and everything. It was very confusing. I'm glad you came by, because I still remember a lot of the students that I had down at Provo High, which many of them I was very fond of, and I still see them today. So I think it would be fun to get together with them again. I may not look that different, but I know they're going to look a lot different now than they did when they were in high school. But if I don't get my knee replaced, I might try to come.